Hey guys, it's Oceana and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk a little bit about one major burning question when it comes to Medium, Substack, and yes, YouTube as well. How frequently should you post? Well, the first thing that I want to point out is that the frequency that you post is going to directly correlate with how many followers you're going to be getting. The more you post up until a certain point, the more you're going to get subscribers, the more you're going to get followers, the more your name is going to be lit up. And the reason I say this is because I've worked on the back end of multiple social media sites. I worked as an SEO manager for vocal.media. Well, writer manager, whatever you want to call it. But I also worked software engineering on XChatFans, and I've worked for a couple of other social media companies, and they want to incentivize creators that actually use their site frequently. The same thing can be said for OF. The same thing can be said for almost any other type of content site that you could imagine. So my basic answer for this is going to be as frequently as possible without dropping the quality. Now, let's talk a little bit about Substack. Substack has two major parts. First, there is the blog aspect. That is the OG part of Substack. And I personally try to write at least one blog a day. Sometimes I'll do two. It's very rare that I'll skip a day simply because unless I'm sick as a dog, I'm not going to want to skip. It's bad for the algorithm, and I know that as far as me being a full-time content creator goes, you guys are my boss. I want to be able to make good content, and I want to be able to make sure that you see the good content. Now, the other part of Substack is notes. I've heard top creators when I was still trying to get my legs on Substack, and what I mean by that is, when you're first working on a new platform and you're still just struggling to get those followers, you're going to have to work about 3 to 5 times as hard as when you finally start coasting along. Those first 1,000 followers, those first couple thousand views, that's going to be a huge, huge difference. It makes a huge difference in how quickly you gain followers. It's a snowball effect. It's easier to gain 50 followers when you already have 10. It's easier to gain 100 followers when you already have 50. It's easy to gain 1,000 followers when you already have 150. So with notes, that's one of those places where Substack has really been working very well at bringing in followers, bringing in rewards for people participating in their community, and I found that most top creators, they will do anything from about 5 to about 25 notes per day. So treat it pretty much like you're trying to be a Twitter influencer from the past, not the current iteration of, whatever Elon Musk turned it into. Now, let's talk a little bit about Medium. Medium is my OG website. That is where I got my community at first. That's where I have 50,000 followers right now. And a lot of people are like, how did you do that? Did you run ads? No, I did not run ads. Telling you right now, I never paid for advertising on Medium. Period. 50,000, that was all me. I was never one of those people who did following frenzies, though that has helped other major creators in the past, and I'm never going to fault them for doing that. That's just not my style. What I ended up doing is I posted every day. I had about 100 followers simply because originally my Medium account, we were trying to do a non-monetized experiment for a PR agency, and it flopped horribly. And when I decided to pick Medium back up again, I was actually bedridden. I had a drug overdose. I thought I had done some snow. It was not snow, it was speed, and I had a really bad reaction. I was bedridden. I was like, I'm bored. I need to actually make money after I vomited everywhere, peed blood everywhere. It was just bad. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll make like 10, 15 bucks on Medium. The first week that I was on Medium, one of my articles went hyper viral. I made $20,000 that month, just on one article alone. And that's pretty much where I got like the bulk of my followers. I realize that's not going to happen with most people. But one thing I noticed is that when I do take breaks on Medium, and I very rarely do, but when I do, I notice it in my following count. I post once a day. I've always tried to aim for once a day. Most of the time it's like clockwork. It's very rare that I do not post at all. The only times I've actually really taken like a week off was when I was in a hospital. And yeah, once a day has always worked very well for me. But if I can't come up with something really good, or if my writing, like if I have really bad writer's block and nothing is coming out, I'm okay with just taking a day, hitting the spa, doing whatever I need to do in order to just, recalibrate myself. With that said, I realize that most content creators, especially new ones, are not going to be able to keep up that pace. So what I would suggest to you is just do the same thing that you would do with YouTube. 2 to 3 times a week is considered to be the basic in order to get the algorithms on your side, in order to get the keywords that you need, and in order to really just get people exposed to you as a creator. So most accounts I've seen which are top rated on Medium or, really heavily followed on Medium, they tend to be the ones that they post at least 2 to 3 times a week. You need to still be in the algorithm, otherwise people are going to see you as, oh my god, that was brilliant, but they're so inconsistent and I'm not going to search up what they're doing. You know what I mean? But here's the thing about Medium that's different from Substack. Now, as many of you guys know, Substack, us creators make money every time that somebody donates via Buy Me a Coffee or via a Substack subscription. By the way, you should totally subscribe to my main Substack. But Medium is not the same. Medium does a very, very interesting mixed use algorithm, which is part, okay, how often do you, I think it's how often you post. Don't count me on that. But I do know it has to do with views, it has to do with read time, and it has to do with engagement, it has to do with shares. And also if you've been boosted, and the boost program is designed to help you find high quality articles that really stand out. And pardon me, my cats have decided to be a royal terror. Now the boost program, it will multiply your earnings by a lot. Like I've had boosted articles that have gotten $5,000-$6,000 in the past, and I love being boosted, but it's not something that I necessarily think is going to be something that you can rely on. And I don't think it ever should be something that you always try to chase, because I nearly drove myself crazy doing that. Medium actually, because of the way that their payouts are, if people are looking at your stuff, you are going to be able to make money. But the problem is that people have to sift through a lot of AI slop, a lot of stuff that is just literally posted, it's terrible quality, and it just kind of takes away from the Medium experience. Now, the engineers and the people behind Medium, they're tasked with a really Herculean issue, an effort which, honestly, my heart goes out to them and my hat gets tipped to them. Because I don't know where I would even start with this. They have to be geniuses in order to do this. They have to figure out a way to sort from the slop to high quality content, and sometimes boosts don't always help. Because of that, they actually had to put a cap on how many pieces of articles you can post per day. And this is something that would have never happened about 8 years ago before the AI revolution. And as of right now, Medium allows you to have 1, 2, 3 posts per day, I think. But because there is a cap, my suggestion with Medium is to not go past 1 post per day, simply because if you are going to post something, you might as well make it your best shot. If you clog the algorithm, I have reason to believe that it's going to hurt your writing, it's going to hurt your brand, and it's also going to hurt your ability to actually make money and gain followers and really connect with your community. 1 point per day is enough. Honestly though, most people, they still do well with 2 to 3 posts per week. That's my 2 cents. So if you've been wondering how often you need to post, there you go.